When Valtteri Bottas finally spoke about Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari journey, the entire Formula One world seemed to freeze. Reporters stopped typing, cameras zoomed in, and even rival drivers tilted their heads to listen. This wasn't some gossip or headline-chasing comment. This was Bottas, the man who shared a garage with Hamilton for years, revealing the kind of truth only a former teammate could understand. His tone wasn't mocking, and it wasn't dramatic for effect. It was honest, quietly heavy, and filled with a kind of empathy that comes only from witnessing someone's struggle firsthand. Because when Bottas talks, he doesn't waste words. Every phrase is measured, layered, and coded, like he's saying one thing on the surface but hiding something much deeper beneath. And that's exactly what happened this time. His words about Hamilton's struggles at Ferrari carried more than just insight. They carried warning, emotion, and an undeniable sense that something inside the Ferrari camp is breaking apart from the inside. He didn't speak as a rival, or even as a friend trying to defend Hamilton. He spoke as someone who's seen that same storm up close. The pressure, the politics, the mental toll that comes when a team starts slipping away from its driver. Bottas has lived it, and Hamilton is living it now. The difference is, Bottas got out before it destroyed him. Hamilton is still inside, fighting to survive it. And that's why Bottas's words hit so hard. They weren't meant to expose Hamilton. They were meant to reveal something the rest of the world has been ignoring. The truth behind the calm smile, the hidden cracks behind Ferrari's glossy red walls. Because when Bottas talks about Hamilton's struggles, it's not criticism, it's revelation. Bottas's comment seemed simple on the surface. Lewis deserves better results at Ferrari. Just 7 words. But in Formula One, words like that carry weight. They aren't said by accident, and when they come from someone who shared 6 intense seasons with Hamilton, they mean far more than what's written on paper. Bottas wasn't just talking about lap times or podiums. He was talking about a driver who built his legacy on precision, control, and a team that once understood every heartbeat of his racing rhythm, and how that same driver now looks lost in the chaos of Ferrari. For 6 seasons, Bottas sat right beside Hamilton. He saw every lap comparison, every tiny difference in braking pressure, throttle control, and corner entry speed. He watched how Hamilton studied data like a scientist, always searching for the smallest detail that could turn a tenth of a second into victory. He saw how Hamilton could sense the car through the steering wheel, reading it like a language only he could understand. That's the Hamilton Bottas knew, calm, exact, and unstoppable when everything around him was in sync. But Ferrari is not Mercedes. It's a completely different world. At Mercedes, Hamilton thrived on structure and trust. At Ferrari, chaos lurks in every corner. From pit wall decisions to strategy calls that make no sense to anyone watching. Bottas knows that environment too well, and his words were more than sympathy. They were a warning, because when a team fails to match Hamilton's precision, it slowly breaks him down, lap by lap, race by race. And that's the truth Bottas exposed without ever saying it directly. It's not that Hamilton suddenly forgot how to drive. It's that Ferrari's constant pressure, its emotional atmosphere, and its unpredictable decision-making have trapped a driver who lives and breathes precision. Bottas's message echoed through the paddock like a quiet alarm, a reminder that under the bright red paint and cheering crowds, there's a deeper struggle unfolding inside Ferrari. A struggle that even Bottas, from miles away in his Alfa Romeo garage, could still see clearly. Bottas's words started to make even more sense when you looked at the real problem. Not the results on paper, but what was happening inside the car. Lewis Hamilton's entire driving style was built over years of mastering the smooth, predictable rhythm of a Mercedes. His muscle memory was shaped by a machine that responded with precision to every flick of the steering wheel, every throttle press, and every tiny input on the brake pedal. It was like dancing with a partner who always moved in perfect sync. But at Ferrari, that rhythm has completely vanished. The SF25 is a different beast altogether. Its power delivery is wild, its torque curve unpredictable, and the energy recovery system kicks in like an untamed surge. 1 second, the car feels stable. The next, the rear end twitches like it's trying to throw the driver off balance. Every corner feels heavier. Every throttle press feels like a gamble. For a driver like Hamilton, who relies on instinct, rhythm, and connection, this kind of inconsistency is torture. The engineers call it torque harmonics, a fancy way of saying the car doesn't deliver power evenly. But Hamilton has a simpler word for it: disconnect. Imagine pressing the throttle and not knowing whether the car will respond instantly or hesitate for a heartbeat before suddenly snapping forward. That's what Hamilton deals with every lap. It's not about skill anymore. Bottas summed it up perfectly when he said, "It's about instinct fighting the wrong rhythm." And that's exactly what Hamilton is facing right now. His instincts, the very thing that made him one of the greatest drivers of all time, are clashing with a machine that refuses to move the way he needs it to. At Mercedes, Hamilton's car was like an extension of himself, responding as if his thoughts controlled it. At Ferrari, he's constantly correcting, adjusting, and second-guessing. Every corner exit tells the story of a driver wrestling not with the competition, but with his own car. You can see it in the small steering corrections, the slight hesitations mid-turn, the frustration in his radio messages. This isn't the confident Hamilton who could predict every movement of his car before it happened. This is a Hamilton forced to adapt to unpredictability, trapped in a machine that speaks a different language. And Bottas, watching from the outside, knows exactly how hard that battle is, because he's felt that same silence when instinct stops trusting the car beneath you. For Hamilton, adaptation isn't just mechanical, it's emotional. Every lap in that red car isn't just about testing the limits of the SF25. It's about testing his own belief in himself. Bottas knows that feeling. The isolation when every race becomes a conversation with your doubts. Hamilton's early months at Ferrari were filled with tense debriefs, clipped answers, and frustration hidden behind a polite calm. Inside Ferrari, even silence has politics. Every pause in a meeting, every sideways glance, carries meaning. The biggest conflict isn't between driver and car, it's between culture and instinct. Ferrari's engineers live by tradition, trusting data and hierarchy. Hamilton lives by feel, by the rhythm of the car in his hands. Bottas captured it perfectly when he said, "At Mercedes, feedback was collaboration. At Ferrari, it's translation." And right now, Hamilton is still learning that new language, one mistake at a time. But even in the chaos, something is changing. Quietly, sector by sector, Hamilton's rhythm is starting to return. The data proves it. Small, steady improvements in Sector 3 since the summer break. Bottas noticed it too. He sees that Hamilton isn't chasing perfection anymore. He's rebuilding it. His radio messages have shifted from frustration to leadership. When he said, "I'm proud of this team," it wasn't just words. It was a signal. That's the same psychological weapon he used at Mercedes, turning belief into momentum. For the first time all season, Ferrari feels the pulse of real progress. Yet beneath that progress, the old ghosts of Maranello still stir. Ferrari's Red Fortress culture has outlasted champions. Alonso, Vettel, even Schumacher faced it. Tradition disguised as resistance. Hamilton now fights that same war, but under modern lights, with social media pressure. Endless leaks and fans dissecting every radio call. Still, small changes are appearing. English is being used more in meetings, simulations are built around Hamilton's data, and for the first time, Ferrari seems willing to evolve. It's not a revolution, but the cracks in the walls are showing. Through it all, Bottas's respect for Hamilton has only deepened. There's no jealousy in his voice, no bitterness about their shared past. "This isn't pity," he once said. "It's recognition." He spent years studying Hamilton's telemetry, trying to match it, to decode it. Now he simply respects the endurance behind it. When Bottas said, "He deserves great results," it wasn't sympathy, it was prophecy. Because in Formula One, respect isn't spoken. It's earned, lap after painful lap. Hamilton's battle today isn't against Verstappen or Leclerc. It's against something greater, the slow erosion of certainty. He's facing the same storm that Schumacher once turned into glory, and Alonso never could escape. But Hamilton's weapon isn't raw talent anymore, it's experience. Ferrari's data logs show his consistency improving by nearly 0.5%. Invisible progress to most, but proof of a driver mastering chaos. He's no longer trying to fit in. He's trying to transform them, one race at a time. And ahead lies 2026. A new era, a fresh canvas. The regulation reset is coming, and Hamilton is already shaping Ferrari's next creation. Engineers whisper that his fingerprints are all over the prototype. The brake-by-wire calibration, the energy recovery balance, even the aerodynamic feedback loops. For once, Ferrari may not be teaching a champion. They may be following one. It's no longer about adaptation, it's about legacy. Because when Bottas said he deserves great results, it wasn't a compliment. It was a warning that greatness doesn't fade, it evolves. Ferrari might have hired a legend, but they could be creating a myth. As Hamilton walks through the Ferrari garage, eyes forward, calm but unbreakable, the question lingers. Can he reshape Ferrari before Ferrari reshapes him? Or is this the final masterpiece of a driver who refuses to fade? If you believe Hamilton's Ferrari journey is more than just another chapter, it's history in motion, hit like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more deep Formula One storytelling from Formula Fury.